What did U.S. authorities respond to Joaquin Guzman's letter? Sounds like Chapo's been reaching out. Let's see what he's talking about.
Look, on Monday, a letter was released that Joaquin El Chapo Guzman sent to Judge Brian Cobb, also in the United States, of course, because he is already incarcerated. He was tried there, and what we know. Well, this is to report that he is being held incommunicado, asking the judge to intervene. Today, the judge of the Brooklyn Federal Court notified Joaquin El Chapo Guzman that he has no jurisdiction in his case and denied his request. He argued that Joaquin El Chapo Guzman is incarcerated in Colorado, and in any case, the Bureau of Prisons is responsible for his conditions of imprisonment. And by the way, he also pointed out to El Chapo that he cannot represent himself and has to make those requests through his lawyer. Arturo Angel, how are you, dear Arturo Angel? This is to report that he is being held incommunicado, asking the judge to intervene. Today, the judge of the Brooklyn Federal Court notified Joaquin El Chapo Guzman that he has no jurisdiction in his case and denied his request. He argued that Joaquin El Chapo Guzman is incarcerated in Colorado, and in any case, the Bureau of Prisons is responsible for his conditions of imprisonment. And by the way, he also pointed out to El Chapo that he cannot represent himself and has to make those requests through his lawyer. Arturo Angel, how are you, dear Arturo Angel? A lot of movement over there.
Poacher's reaching out to the judge to tell the judge that he got shit to do. He got motions to do, and he hasn't been able to talk to anybody, his lawyers, anybody. And the judge told him, well, I don't represent you, Papas. And you can't just reach out straight to me. You got to talk to your lawyers. Huh? Wait a minute. What are we talking about here?
In the United States. Good evening. How are you, Elisa? Very good evening. Yes, an intense week, isn't it? Various news items from here as always. And with so many cases that we have now, yes, there and here with so many cases, right? And others that will come soon. I was already commenting on this request from Chapo, right? To begin with, now, yes, because of the latest information that we gave, of very important things that are happening there.
Don't worry, just listen to the goofy ass AI and we'll get clarification out of it.
In the United States, but Judge Brian Cogan does not want to grant him that, or to see if his request can be fulfilled or not, from what I understand, but you will explain to us, dear Arturo Angel. But, well, now, excuse me, but this is not the window. You have to go to the window across the street, right? Over there in Colorado, or how is the situation?
Yes. What am I saying? I think that part of the consequences of being in a prison of that severity, right? Like the one Chapo Guzman is in this supermax prison or super maximum security in Florence. That's what Florence is called, because there's a town right there near this penal colony.
Damn, AI is stupid as fuck on YouTube. No. It saying this. Shut your dumb ass up. I was looking forward to this feature popping up on YouTube where you can just change the audio track. Pero coño, man. That shit's crazy. And that right there is it. It's like Robert did say something here that made absolute sense. He said when you're in the ADX, it's part of the game getting your it's part of the game getting your rights violated. You know what I mean? He's writing a letter to the judge about not being able to see his lawyers, and the judge is telling him, you can't talk to me. You got to talk to your lawyers. What?
Of security in the United States. A prison.
Now, why is he reaching out? Does he want to talk? There's more to the. We got more to the story. Is there more to the story?
Designed for the worst criminals basically in the country, right? And Chapo, in effect, sent a letter to Judge Ryan Cogan. By the way, quite complicated to read, right? The court had to do a translation, but also a summary translation because it wasn't just the issue that it was in Spanish, but it was full of spelling mistakes and syntax errors. Even for his others, it was difficult to understand it.
So that means Chapo could barely write. But be like, he didn't have to write. Alright, I'm just saying. They had to translate that shit and decode that shit. All right?
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
But anyway, what Chapo was asking for was to be allowed to see a new lawyer, right? The one who has joined his defense team. We don't know if he wants to find a new strategy. Maybe Elisa has already changed her mind and now wants to cooperate. Or if it has something to do with the issue of the children,
Maybe now he wants to cooperate? You mean not like the time that he told them that he wasn't the boss, but that Yoma was? Something aside from that? Oh. Maybe he wants to cooperate.
don't know. But the point is that what Chapo Guzman was telling Judge Brian Cogan is that the prison authorities won't let him see his lawyer. They won't let him talk. The lawyer had even sent Chapo a few letters, but they just won't give them to him.
Lawyers like shit. Sounds like the Board of Prisons problems, bruh. They ain't got shit to do with me.
Judge Cogan's response was forceful in that he can't make a request to the prison authorities of this jail, basically for two reasons, Elisa. One, because he says it's not their jurisdiction. Basically, first, if he believes that his constitutional rights, as being able to speak with his lawyer, are not being respected, then what he has to do is exhaust all administrative remedies available to the criminal justice authorities in the United States. And if that still fails, then he can file an appeal, but before the Colorado
Diego just subscribed on YouTube.
Shout out Diego. Salute to you, sir. Appreciate you. Welcome.
State Court and not in New York, it is administrative remedies of his lawyer are not being respected, then what he has to do is exhaust all administrative remedies available to the criminal justice authorities in the United States. And if that still fails, then he can file an appeal, but before the Colorado State Court and not in New York, it is not a jurisdiction.
AKA, you gotta do it the right way. In the worlds I cover, cartel, crime, corruption, there's always one thing for sure. Someone's always watching. Whether it's a wiretap, a rat, or your internet service provider. You're never really protected unless you protect yourself. That's why I use NordVPN. It locks down my connection, hides my IP, and lets me browse safely, even while researching the darkest corners of the internet. Whether I'm streaming, editing, or reacting to body cam footage, NordVPN makes sure that I'm not giving up my location or my data. You can connect to over 6,000 servers in 60 countries. Want to watch something blocked in your region? Boom, one click. Or you just need protection on sketchy Wi-Fi. Automatic. If you're watching Shy Ill Reacts, you already know how dangerous exposure can be. So lock down your digital life. Grab NordVPN at nordvpn.com/ILL. Use my link and get huge discounts. Don't be the one getting caught slipping. Protect yourself with NordVPN.
The other reason is that Judge Cogan also says that Guzman cannot write letters personally and then also send them to his lawyer, but rather the contact must be through the lawyer that Guzman himself had previously stated in a letter that he wanted to represent him and who is now saying that they cannot see him.
It sounds like you're not allowed to talk to your lawyer, Papas. That's it.
Brian Cogan says, the request has to come from his lawyer. In any case, it does not have to come from you because you have all...
You gotta tell your lawyer that you can't talk to your lawyer, so that your lawyer can send me a letter on behalf of you telling me that you can't talk to your lawyer. That's the only way you can send letters to me. So go talk to your lawyer that you're writing me a letter about not being able to talk to. Get her done. The system's funny, boy. Yeah, they don't play about ADX. Prisoners stay locked up, and this way before Chapo's time. I don't doubt it. Yeah, he doesn't realize he has no strings to pull anymore. He can't buy his way out anymore. What this did do was cause publicity for him and bring up the thought to the American government that maybe he wants to talk. Maybe he got something to talk about. Maybe now they send a letter to him. Who knows? Maybe the United States government said, hey, man, hold on. He trying to send letters? We trying to get everything we can get. So let him talk to us. And, maybe we'll knock off 100 years from his sentence or something.
Already appointed a lawyer. Beyond the fact that if this lawyer has problems and they don't let him talk to you, then his lawyer is the one who has to notify the court. But anyway, Cogan says, even if he did, this wouldn't be the appropriate instance. So, Chapo Guzman is clearly having a hard time, while at the same time we see both his sons and his...
And it is a hard time. I feel like John Good is onto something. He want a softer pillow. He's like, come on, man. Fuck. Do something for me. You know what I mean?
Former partner, Mayo Zambada, trying to push through their cases. Elisa, and I think they're precisely trying to avoid not only the death penalty, like in Mayo Zambada's case, but even ending up in prison, like the one Chapo Guzman is in. In the case of Chapo's sons, Ovier and Joaquin Guzman Lopez, I think they are young people. It's also very clear that they are already cooperating. In the case of Ovidio, it was already confirmed at the hearing that he is a cooperating witness. Surely in September we will see something happen.
Oh man, he's a cooperating witness. Say it ain't so, man. You gonna put on your jersey and shit?
Happened with Joaquin Guzman Lopez, but in the case of Elisa del Mayo Zambada, well, I think that, maybe he is very important. He is obviously the founder of the Sinaloa cartel. Is it complicated? How much can he win? He has already faced the death penalty, as was already explained this week.
He got that taken off the table. Why? Why is Yoma no longer subject to the unaliving penalty? Because maybe he's gonna say something to somebody who needs to hear something be said. He already told us that he was snatched. He already told us that that's cooperation, bro. He gave evidence through his letter. That's what that is. They love to throw the founder word around. That's the game right now. Throw all the words around. Bartel, the founder, the boss of all bosses, the jefe of jefes, jefe. No mama's way. No mama's way.
The United States has removed that component from the table, but the process continues, and I honestly see it as very complicated that someone like El Mayo Zambada is going to avoid, well, a life sentence, very possibly. But at least...
Yeah, I don't see that old man seeing the light of day ever again. None of them. Not him, not the other one. The Chapitos, yeah. I can see them getting out. But Yoma and Pocha, nah, man. I don't see that shit happening.
At least he will surely seek, to avoid a prison like the one where El Chapo Guzman is, suffering the canes, as we are seeing. Yes, so, for now, El Mayo has already avoided the death penalty. As, we learned this week, the cards have been dealt. Anyway, we have already announced these three cases: El Viceroy, El Mayo, and Caro Quintero. That surprised me, because I thought the DIA wasn't going to let him reach an agreement and avoid the death penalty for the torture and murder of Kike Camarena. It didn't seem that difficult, but anyway, for now these three are with different judges, but in Brooklyn, right? They're in New York, and on the other hand, he could avoid a prison like the one El Chapo is currently in. This maximum security confinement, and we'll see
That's
if
what it is. Everybody's just trying to avoid an ADX stay. Send me to a nice cushy prison with a soft pillow. I'll give you everything, because I know I'm not getting out.
The agreements between the sons also affect Chapo himself, right? Well, perhaps at some point it could be a valid theory that perhaps the father could be taken somewhere else at some point. I mean, in this case, the United States has a wide range of maneuvers, but a lot depends on the quality of information that El Chapo's sons provide, right? I think that, as I said, the information provided by Ovidio, Joaquin Guzman Lopez, and even in the case of Mayo Zambada, that we will not know unless it possibly results in criminal proceedings or other things, such as the designations that are later made by the Treasury Department or other types of sanctions. The withdrawal of hearings could very likely also come from people that the United States identifies thanks to the information provided by their cooperating witnesses. But what I do believe will be a sign of how important the information provided by these people is, Elisa, is based on the benefits that we see that they begin to receive. So, well, it will be interesting. In the case of Mayo Zambada, let's remember that on August 25th he has his follow-up hearing here in Brooklyn, and let's see if at that hearing there is at least confirmation of a possible negotiation for Mayo Zambada to change his plea of not guilty that I initially gave and, perhaps, seek to avoid the investigation.
Yes. Listen, and also...
Yeah, he don't want none of that shit. He just wants to cut a deal and kick rocks. Right? So there it is as far as that subject goes. Chapo's writing letters to the judge. The judge is telling him, you got to write letters through your lawyer. Chapo's saying, but I'm writing you letters because they don't let me talk to my lawyer. So it's all a circle jerk. He's, like John Good said, he's having a rough time. And I can't feel bad for him. He violated other people's rights. So what do I care? You know what I mean? There was people he denied water. There was people he denied whatever. People that probably didn't deserve what came for them. You in an ADX, Papa, you got caught. You're there. Now, if he wants to talk, now that they got publicity about that, then maybe he'll get somewhere. Maybe the government come look for him. Unless they feel like they're done with him. And if that's the case, old man, get comfortable. And if you can't, it's your problem.